Hello, I'm Eileen McHugh with the BBC News. The United Nations Security Council has been warned by officials that the conflict in the Ethiopian region of Tigray may rapidly deteriorate. The meeting heard that a famine in Tigray was now affecting more than 400,000 people, an increase of 50,000 in recent weeks. The acting UN aid chief, Ramesh Rajasingham, was among the first to address the council.
We have repeatedly said that the only way to stop the humanitarian situation from further deteriorating is peace. And the welcomed announcement, as I mentioned, by the governor of Ethiopia of a ceasefire must be the beginning of this peace, for the sake of millions of innocent civilians. The conflict has already caused enormous suffering to the civilian population. It must stop now.
Brazil's Prosecutor General has requested authorization from the Supreme Court to investigate President Jair Bolsonaro for failing to act on allegations of corruption in the purchase of coronavirus vaccines. A whistleblower in the health ministry said government officials had accepted bribes to buy 400 million doses of the Indian-made vaccine Covaxin. Orla Guerin in Sao Paulo has the details.
With Brazil's death toll soaring, President Jair Bolsonaro is losing support and facing growing pressure on the streets, at a Senate inquiry, and now potentially in the courts. He's been accused of turning a blind eye to irregularities and massive overcharging in a contract to acquire a COVID vaccine from India. A whistleblower in Brazil's health ministry and his lawmaker brother claimed to have personally warned the president. He has denied any knowledge and any wrongdoing.
President Lukashenko has ordered that Belarus's entire border with Ukraine be sealed off, claiming that a huge amount of arms is being smuggled across the border into Belarus. Mr. Lukashenko also said, without providing evidence, that his security services had uncovered terrorist sleeper cells inside Belarus, sponsored by Germany, the US, Poland, Ukraine and Lithuania. The former president of South Africa, Jacob Zuma, has asked the Constitutional Court to reconsider its decision to jail him for 15 months. On Tuesday, the court ordered that Mr. Zuma be jailed for failing to appear before an inquiry to answer corruption allegations. And Busby reports.
Jacob Zuma has until Sunday to hand himself in or face arrest following the landmark ruling. But in a last-ditch bid to avoid prison, he submitted an affidavit saying a jail sentence would be cruel and degrading punishment. He said, without elaborating, that he was a 79-year-old man who suffered from a medical condition and his life would be at risk if he became infected with the coronavirus while behind bars. Mr. Zuma, who was ousted as president in 2018, has denied involvement in a number of corruption scandals. Some of his supporters have warned that they won't allow him to be jailed.
BBC News. Jewish settlers in the occupied West Bank have left an outpost which had become the scene of clashes with local Palestinians who also claim the land. Under a deal with the Israeli government, the settlers' homes will not be demolished and the army will take over the site. All settlements are widely regarded as illegal in international law. Hundreds of aid workers formed a human chain in northwest Syria as they urged the international community to keep open the only border crossing into the rebel-held region. The UN mandate, allowing humanitarian supplies to come from Turkey via the Bab al-Hawa crossing point, expires within days. Aid agencies fear Russia will prevent it being renewed, as it considers the region to be a jihadist stronghold. Elsa, the first hurricane of the Atlantic season, has swept through islands of the Eastern Caribbean. The storm ripped away roofs and tore down trees and power lines in Barbados and St. Lucia. On St. Vincent, damage was reported to houses already hit by recent volcanic eruptions. In football, Italy are through to the semi-finals of Euro 2020 after beating one of the tournament favourites, Belgium. The BBC's John Bennett was watching the game in Munich.
The Italians won it with two great goals in a breathless first half. Before that, Leonardo Bonucci had an effort disallowed for Italy, and at the other end, Kevin De Bruyne and Romelu Lukaku forced two great saves. Then Nicola Barella skipped away from three defenders in the box and hit the back of the net with a powerful shot. Italy's second was even better. Lorenzo Insigne with a beautiful curling effort from just outside the D. And then, just before the break, a twist. Belgian teenager Jeremy Doku fouled just inside the box and Lukaku made it 2-1 from the spot.
The Italians will face Spain in the next round, whose match against Switzerland was decided by a penalty shootout after their game had finished 1-1. And that's the latest from BBC News.